What's good with it, Guardians? It's your boy Mace, and today I have the best in-game build for hunters. No, it isn't Revenant, no, it isn't Solar, and there's no question this build has the most utility and will save your fire team's bacon more than any other build. Now, after watching this vid, if you don't agree, say me in the comments. I'm not gonna run from it. I answer everyone. I'm here for it. I want it. Give me all the smoke. Now before we get into the nitty gritty, make sure you pop that like button if you feel this vid can help. If you really enjoy my content, tag the sub button and make sure to hit the notification bell so YouTube lets you know when there's a new hot one out. That being said, first I'm gonna tell you what this vid is not. If you're looking to absolutely slay out, I'm sure you can figure out something to do that, but I didn't design this build for that necessarily. Titans are for slaying and protecting. Warlocks are for boss DPS and healing. Hunters are for trapping and sneaking. The class is built around that, and we'll make sure and take full advantage of that. The ultimate support build. You will prime all the mobs for explosions. You will stealth to get the team out of sticky situations. You will debuff bosses and tether adds with your abilities, and more than likely, you'll be the reason your team doesn't wipe in GMs and Master Nightfalls. Night Stalker is the subclass. Way of the Pathfinder is the method, or just say bottom tree Night Stalker. That being said, the grenade will be Vortex. Void Wall is good also. Next, let's talk about bottom tree. First we have Vanish in Smoke. Throw a smoke bomb making you and nearby allies invisible and providing the Heart of the Pack buff. Heart of the Pack grants weapon haste and increases mobility, recovery, and resilience. Next, we have Lockdown. Grenade effects last twice as long, allowing for strong territorial control and increased damage potential. Third one is Mobius Quiver. Fire Shadow Shot multiple times in rapid succession. Shadow Shot deals massive damage against tethered targets. Defeating tethered targets creates orbs of power and grants nearby allies Heart of the Pack buff. Finally, Combat Provisions. Damaging enemies with grenades grants melee ability energy. Making allies invisible grants grenade energy. So now we'll talk about the armor, mods, and how they all tie together. We'll start off with the exotic armor piece Omninoculous. Its perk, you gain a second smoke bomb charge and have damage resistance while invisible. When you make allies invisible, they gain damage resistance while invisible as well, and you gain melee energy. So you see how that works with the subclass? Vanish in Smoke makes everybody invisible and gives Heart of the Pack buff. Combat Provision gives you nade energy for making allies invisible, then Omninoculous gives you melee energy every time you make allies invisible as well. They all tie together, and with just a little help from the mods we're about to go over in a minute, you'll essentially be able to throw nades and go invis whenever you want. Granted, you follow the order of operations. Next we have our helmet. On our helmet, we're rocking double ashes to assets. Since we will be throwing lots of nades, we should get our super really fast. Then we're also going to be using Wrath of Rasputin. Makes sense with all the explosions we'll be making, why not war mines? Moving on, the arms. Here we're rocking double grenade kickstarter. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. This will get you 25% back every time you throw a grenade. Then we have Elemental Light. Defeating a combatant with your super spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. We already spoke about the chest plate, so now to the legs. Here we're rocking double innervation, reduces nade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. And of course, Rage of the Warmind, adds additional solar damage to the explosions of Warmind cells you destroy. I'm using this because of the nerf Warminds got last season. Every little bit helps. Now, onto our cloak. Normally here I would be rocking double bomber, reduces nade cooldown when using your class ability. But this season I'm taking advantage of focusing lens. Your light abilities do bonus damage to combatants affected by stasis. So one bomber, one focusing lens, and last but not least, explosive well maker. Rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage spawns a solar elemental well, and the term explosive does not mean solar or fire. It can be anything that goes pop. This includes abilities of any element. As long as they go pop, you can generate a solar well. Honorable mentions that can be slotted in someplace: Well of Ordnance, Particle Deconstruction, and Global Reach. Okay, so the order of operations are as follows. Throw a nade, then hit your teammate with smoke bombs. It takes 3 Guardian smoke to get your full nade back. You can achieve this any way you want. Save your dodges for any time you don't have a smoke bomb, because gamblers dodging near enemies will give you your melee back. Then you can rinse and repeat. As long as you're using smoke bombs on your team, you'll have unlimited nades to throw, and with nade kills comes a lot of super energy. When you have your super, use it. Enemies killed while tethered will drop orbs of power for your team. The more enemies tethered, the more orbs. This can make chaining supers really easy. Your tethers also debuff anything tethered, and Shadow Shot does massive damage to those tethered. So make sure you hit the boss directly with a few of them. And if someone else is using stasis, Shadow Shot and your nades will do 25% more damage on top of the debuff, because debuffs and damage modifiers stack. Keep in mind, multiple debuffs don't stack. So something like Particle Deconstruction won't stack with your tethers, so act accordingly. Alright, on to the weapons. First, in the kinetic slot, we have Ignition Code. Mine has Vorpal, Lead from Gold, and Blinding Nades. In in-game content, being able to blind mobs for periods of time really comes in clutch, and as long as I can find heavy ammo, this weapon will always have ammo. In the special slot, we have our main weapon, 2's Divination. Hipfire in this weapon fires multiple tracking projectiles. Targets marked by these projectiles explode upon death or when struck by another Sacred Flames explosion. Arrows fired while aiming down sights cause Sacred Flames to instantly detonate. Precision hits with perfectly drawn arrows increase the power of the detonations. So bang bang bang. And lastly, in the power position, we have Ascendancy, this season's ritual weapon, and it does not disappoint. Honorable mentions here: any legendary linear fusion if a teammate is using particle deconstruction, or anything that can make war mines like solar rockets, solar nades, or solar scar, a caster frame sword from Trials. Well, that's about it for this build. Make sure and like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications of future activities on the channel. Join me on all of my socials for updates and general communications. Links will be in the description. So that's it. It's Mace, and I'm gone. Deuces.